Hello everyone, my name is Sanjana and today I am going to explain about general approach for classification. Now let us see what is classification. Classification is a form of data analysis that extracts models describing important data classes. Such models are called classifiers, predict categorical class labels. Classification is the process of finding a group of models or functions that describe or distinguish data classes or concepts for the aim of having the ability to use model to predict the category of classes whose class label is unknown. Many classification methods have been proposed by researchers in machine learning, pattern recognition, and statistics. Most algorithms are memory resident, typically assuming a small data size. Classification has numerous applications including fraud detection, target marketing, performance prediction, manufacturing, and medical goals. Now let us see general approach to classifications. Data classification is a two-step process consisting of a learning step where a classification model is constructed and a classification step where the model is used to predict class labels for given data. Now let us see what is learning step. It is a step where the classification model is to be constructed. In this phase, training data are analyzed by classification algorithm. Classification step. It is step where the model is employed to predict class label for given data. In this phase, test data are run to estimate the accuracy of classification rules. Now you can see here the example for the our approach for the classification. In this classification problem, the value of the discrete random variable I must be estimated from that of a random variable x given a random sample I1 x1, I2 x2 and so on in xn. A classification rule is giving such an estimate can be based on most non-parametric density estimators which are based on delta sequences. The rate at which the non-error rate for this rule converges to the optimal is calculated. It is found to be O of n minus 1 of 2d plus 2 log Tn, where d is the dimension of the variable x under mild assumptions on the densities. A procedure for choosing an associated parameter for small sample is given. Now, basic algorithms for classification. Decision tree algorithm, naive Bayesian classification, rule-based classification, SVM support vector machine, generalized linear models, Bayesian classification, classification by backpropagation, KNN classifier, rough set theory, etc. And you can see here the classification technique which leads to the classification. Now see what is decision tree induction. Decision tree induction is the learning of decision tree from class label training tuples. Given a tuple x for which the association class label is unknown, the attribute values of tuples are tested against the decision tree, a path that is traced from the root to the leaf node which holds the class prediction for the tuple. These trees are then converted into classification rules. Decision trees are easier to interpret and they no need any domain knowledge. And now let us see what is naive Bayesian classification. They are statistical classifiers. They can predict class membership probabilities such as the probability that a given tuple belongs to a particular class. Naive classifiers assume that the effect of an attribute value on a class is independent of values of another attributes. The mathematical formula for this classification is P of x by h is equal to P of x by h into P of x, where h be a hypothesis and P of x by x is a probability that h holds the given evidence for the tuple x, that means observed data. P of x by h is the posterior probability of x condition on h. Now, rule-based classification. Rules are a good way of representing information or knowledge. A rule-based classifier uses a set of if or then rules for classification and is represented as if condition then rules. The if part is called as precondition and then part is called as rule consequent. This implies that only if the condition is met is the next and then part will execute. Now let us see what is support vector machine. Support vector machine is a supervised machine learning algorithm used for both classification and regression. though we say regression problems as well as it's best suited for classification. The objective of SVM, that means support vector machine algorithm, is to find a hyperplane in an n-dimensional space that distinctly classifies the data points. The dimension of the hyperplane depends upon the number of features. If the number of input features is 2, then the hyperplane is just a line. If the number of input features is 3, then the hyperplane becomes a 2D plane. It becomes difficult to imagine when the number of features exceeds 3.